Greetings Guardians, welcome to my breakdown of the April 12th Bungie Weekly Update. Let's get right into it. For the first portion of this update, Deej talks about how he trained guests in the way of a Guardian as they take their first steps into the world of Destiny. And right off the bat, this sentence caught my eye. I show them how to harness their light to power fantastic talents of destruction. Notice how the L in light is capitalised. Deej even mentioned the light a few weeks back, and we already know the threat known as the darkness, so what is the light? I'm currently thinking, from the sounds of this, that the light could almost be a fuel for our abilities, granted by the Traveller. So what happens when we don't have any light? Are we unable to use our abilities? And when we kill an enemy, do these slots represent our light meter being refilled? Guys, I want to hear your theories. If you have any ideas as to what the light could be, please leave a comment. Next we have this image. Yes, what you're looking at is our first actual in-game screenshot of an Exo Warlock, or as Bungie test leader Jason Pate calls it, a robot space pimp. In Jason's words, robot because he's an Exo baby, space because we're all in space, and pimp because that melee makes it look like he's slapping fools to take that money. Now it could just be nothing, but I think he just confirmed that the Warlock will have a different melee attack. Taking a close look at the Exo Warlock, we can see the Warlock's glowing bond on the arm, which, as we learnt from the GDC presentation, is the 5th armour slot and is unique to the Warlock. Sticking out the Exo's head are these prong-like pieces, and it's carrying this massive weapon on its back, which looks to be some kind of sniper rifle. Anyway, moving on to this week's Mailsack, Master Elite 3 asked, has Bungie had any difficulty walking the fine line between giving awesome tacular loot that makes a player feel more powerful, and keeping that power balanced relative to others? Deej said, what you're describing is something that's very important to us. We do want to make you feel awesome. What we also want to do is make sure that your friends can join you on that path, no matter where they find themselves on their own personal journey. Now Deej doesn't directly explain how they plan to do that, he basically just goes on to saying, with maths. Either way, it's kind of reassuring that Bungie has ways of keeping every member of a fire team feeling important. I don't want it to get to a point where me or one of my friends has to drop out to play solo for a bit in order to catch up to the rest, because I've played co-oping games such as Borderlands, and in my experience, usually one person speeds ahead and gets all the kills whilst the other player trails behind. I've found that it actually creates this cycle where you want to play with someone but they've played longer and have much better guns than you, therefore they get all the kills which leaves no XP for you. So to get some kills you need better guns, but to get better guns you need to level up, but you can't level up because someone else is taking all the kills and XP. And really the only way to get out of it is by grinding it out on solo, and when you're forced into a position like that, it's just no fun. There's no point playing co-op. You're basically just there to soak up bullets. Next, Captain Muffinman asked, I'm a massive fan of the way Bungie Stats kicked off with the release of Halo 3. Is this something we can look forward to with upcoming titles like Destiny, and will you be taking the online portfolio further? Deej responded, Halo Stats actually became a thing on Bungie.net when Halo 2 released. Anyway, a full decade later, we're reinventing the way you'll relive your finest moments as a Guardian, and you'll do it right here. Now I'm curious as to what Deej meant when he said, relive your finest moments. This makes me think relive as in through video form. So perhaps Bungie plans to implement some form of video sharing option on Bungie.net. I don't see why they wouldn't, since they did it in the past with Halo. The only problem is, what if there isn't a theatre mode? The idea of a theatre mode has been up in the air for a while now, and Bungie have neither confirmed nor denied that there will be one. Now Bungie have said that Destiny will have seamless transitions from place to place and game mode to game mode, meaning no menus. So unless theatre mode becomes an in-game option, I don't really see how Bungie plans to implement a video sharing option. Perhaps this is where the PS4's and the Xbox One's built-in DVR could come in. Or Bungie may even allow us to take in-game screenshots, kind of like Rockstar did with GTA 5, and our Bungie.net profile could be a gallery for those screenshots. Now back in Halo 3 you could get these little symbols next to your gamertag if you remember on Bungie.net. Some could only be obtained through playing some of Bungie's older games such as Marathon, which was one of Bungie's ways of showing how long a player had been around, and a nice little way of rewarding players for dedication. It makes me excited to see what kind of other rewards we'll see in the future, and with Destiny, it seems like your Bungie.net profile will become a lot more important, and I think it'll become a way of displaying some of your achievements in Destiny. It'll be just one other way of standing out from the crowd. Next, Death Incarnate asked, with the release of the GDC video, we have finally gotten some insight into how you guys are putting things together in Destiny. To what degree will fans have access to this level of customization? And Deej responded with, some of what you saw in Scott Shepherd's presentation were developer tools, but we are crafting a wealth of armour that you can mix and match to create a Guardian in your own image. Scott stayed focused primarily on race, class and gear, but there are many other avenues you'll have in Destiny to alter the way you look. It'll be very hard to run out of options for making your hero a unique snowflake. Now if you missed Bungie's GDC presentation, I'll have a link down in the description of this video. If you really want some insight into Destiny's customization and how Bungie plan to make every Guardian unique, definitely go watch the presentation. And finally, Tactica asked, if there is one safe city on Earth, are there other unsafe cities to be found? And Deej said, oh yes, some of them are buried under sand, others of them are choked with jungle, a few of them are not even of our own creation, all of them are hostile environments. And that's it for this week's update. In other news, Bungie's Christian Diefenbach, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, was recently interviewed by a Portuguese gaming website, and out of the entire interview, one detail stood out. He said that Destiny's locations such as the Moon, Earth and Mars are more or less the same size as the entire game of Halo Reach. It doesn't say if he was just talking about the campaign or literally the entire game including multiplayer and Forge. But let's just say he was talking about the campaign. On normal difficulty it would take, on average, somewhere around 7 or 8 hours to complete. On heroic difficulty, maybe 9 or 10. And on legendary difficulty, it could be anywhere from 9 to maybe 13 hours, depending on how you play. But those are just some rough estimates. Now with Destiny being an open world shooter, I imagine it'll take much longer, especially with activities, enemies, locations and more that will require you to come back at a higher level to complete, as well as all the moons and planets that we'll be able to visit. Who even knows what else Bungie have planned? This just really gives you an idea of how big Destiny is going to be. So thank you for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you next time.